course, with my lovely guests, Colin and Jacob, that are always here. And of course, we have a special guest for today, and it is Daniel Hume, the coach from Last Kings from Las. And so, first of all, welcome to everyone that is watching, and of course to you guys for joining me as always. So, while Jacob's screen is or webcam is simply not working for whatever reason, we're gonna ask Jacob, is everything alright?
Yes. I have no idea what's going on.
Shall I restart the call?
Restart your camera.
Yeah, try
No,
this.
I did restart the camera. What the heck?
Do it again.
Right.
And
Is it
again.
there now?
And if in case your turn on, turn off does not work, turn on and turn off again.
Okay.
What if I hang up and then rejoin?
Yeah,
You good?
let's try this.
I'd give that a
let's
whirl.
try this. Let's try this. I mean, what would be a show without any technical issues? I mean,
How about now?
it's still loading.
Hey!
Yay! We
I
have
see his
Jacob
lovely
back,
face.
boys!
Everyone!
Woo!
Long
There you go.
have mercy, he's alive! He looks
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay, boys and girls, we have a little bit of a different show today because our lovely Jacob will host the show from this introduction. Because today we're gonna talk about the wildcards and Worlds preview. And as you know, I coach KLG through the wildcards, so Jacob will ask me and Colin some questions because we were directly involved with a team in the tournament. So, but let's start first. Daniel, do you want to tell us a bit
Yes.
about yourself first?
Oh man, this is the second time I'm on this show. People should already know me. I mean, ain't I famous yet? Ain't I famous?
Famous!
Yeah, well, as you said, I'm the coach of Last Kings, a team from the last region, just like KLG. And the team that will participate to the Worlds next year.
Ah,
I'm just leaving this here for people to see that I'm right when next year comes. And yeah, that's about it. I'm an analyst for Team Liquid also. I'm looking into other opportunities, let's call them. And we'll see what the new year brings.
sounds good, my friend. Sounds good. So, let's talk about something that we call League of Legends, right?
Oh yeah,
Jacob,
I'm
do
good.
you
the
mind taking
international
over from here?
wildcard.
Yeah.
International Wildcard Tournament. Okay, so a couple weeks ago there were two, or I guess, yeah, like 2 weeks ago exactly, there were two tournaments that were going on, and there was one in Turkey, there was one in Chile. The Chile one has the one you guys participated in, which was Chaos Ultimate Gamers, Pain Gaming, and Hard Random. Between the three, they played a double round robin, and then into a final between the top two. Pain Gaming ultimately prevailed and are now qualified for Worlds. And then the other tournament was in Turkey, and there were four teams: Dark Passage from Turkey, Bangkok Titans from the GPL, Chief Esports Club from Australia/Oceania, and then Detonation Focus Me from Japan. Then it was the same kind of format. It was double round robin, and the top two played each other for the spot to Worlds. BKT made the upset and beat the Chiefs, and are now qualified to go to the World Championship. So, Colin, we'll start in Chile because you guys participated. Colin and Alex, how was the tournament? What was it like to work with a team to prepare for such a thing? So.
Alright, so I was directly involved. Like, I flew down there. Like, I spent 2 weeks with them. I was working already around about a month prior, so I was actually involved already in the preparation for the Latin finals in Mexico. So basically, I was then like the head coach of the team, and I got Colin as my analyst. So in the beginning, it was like very different from every kind of my different coaching experiences, since Latin region is extremely far behind because it's so new. So people still have like a different play style than most the other regions I worked with, and it was more a fact of bringing the team together and working into the next goal, because we were actually very confident coming into the Latin finals. So this was a very interesting step for me, and a very new adventure. But since I was there directly, I had actually my first personal coaching experience. So basically, I had the chance to interact with the team, not only on TeamSpeak, but also live in person during the 2 weeks of the wildcard tournaments.
Great. Colin, what was it like working remotely and getting everything to Alex like during that time period?
That was also for me, it wasn't as exciting as being able to go down to the event itself. I think I would have had more of an impact as well as a completely different experience. However, it was certainly enjoyable. There were deadlines that I had to meet because, I mean, I only had so much time to prepare for the event. But taking the bits that I could to the team and introducing those concepts or my analysis into that team, which were then used, I sent documents to Alex for him to discuss with the team. I tried to sit on in for some of the scrims. I still had a full-time job at the time, and so because of that, I was held back. But ultimately, it was a very fun experience for me. It was my first time really being engaged with the team, and I could see a few of the insights that I had given the team actually utilized by Alex, by some of the players, and I think that's what ultimately got us to go up to the final. So it was very exciting to kind of take KLG's performance and relate it to the level of work that I did and say that team is performing at these things because I helped them with that. So it was very enlightening and a very unique experience I hope to replicate.
So in terms of the tournament, it's unlike a lot of your qualifications because a lot of your other qualifications all your other qualifications for Worlds are against teams you play for a long period of time before the actual like your playoffs or your regional gauntlets. How did that kind of like differ for you guys that you had to learn two teams that you've never gotten to play before just from watching like VODs and everything?
Well, like Pain and Hard Random weren't that were actually familiar to me because I was tryouting for a Russian team beforehand, and they were supposed to play Hard Random, and I didn't work with them because my visa didn't get through in time. So I was actually preparing already for them to play Hard Random. I'm not gonna say any names though, and I actually watched a few games because of that, and I had already been in touch with the Russian team before, so I knew them. And since I'm Brazilian myself, I was following like Pain Gaming since 2012 and the early Brazilian scene days. So I actually had a very good knowledge on how the scene and the team of Pain Gaming works. It was just more getting a bit deeper and in depth on how they play. But that's my experience. What about you, Colin?
So whereas Alex has had some previous experiences with them, I was coming in totally blind. I try and keep up with the Korean scene as best as I can, so I don't really market a lot of time to watch the Brazilian scene or the Russian scene. So I was completely like, all right, what does anyone even do? Oh, what are these lane swaps? Oh gosh, what is happening here? What is... So for me, though, it was fun to try... I took that as an opportunity to test myself as far as looking at a team within a couple of games and trying to figure out their strengths and weaknesses as well as their play style and identity. I already had a similar experience with that when it came to my earlier work with KLG in the Latin American regional finals between Lion Gaming and KLG. I think I did a pretty good job of looking at Lion Gaming, identifying some of their flaws with Alex, and then we implemented a plan from there. So I took a very similar approach here. And I'd say that I didn't work at Hard Random. I didn't look at them. I focused mostly on Pain Gaming. I felt like that Alex and I both had came up with ideas for how to contest with them, but there were a couple of other issues that held the team back, as well as a few slippings on my part, specifically with determining what Pain could possibly bring out against us that wouldn't be necessarily expected. So for me, it was an exercise in seeing how quickly I could identify a team's strengths and see if I could identify those trends. And I think I did a fairly decent job at them, but not the best job that was possible.
Do you think if you were given this is both of you, I guess, do you think if you had given more time to compete against these teams, like the other regions get a chance to before they play for a qualifier, do you think you would have been able to identify more stuff and train players better to compete?
Well, the things that actually happen with KLG are things that are long-term things that we have to work on, and also experience, because they are very young players, and some of the players didn't have any kind of international experience in our team, so it was still a very new experience. And I mean, like, what happens in the finals actually was simply Pain was the better overall team, not only in terms of play, but also of the mentality and psychological aspect, and how to handle the pressure. And so I think like the time that we would have needed to beat Pain would be at least a year or maybe even more. So I don't think that we didn't figure out the teams in time. It was just a very poor execution that we could have handled it better, mostly the pressure part. But how did you see this, Colin? Because I was actually directly there, so I don't know how do you see that from outside?
So my perspective when it comes into this, because I'm so removed from my interaction with the players, my interaction with what strategies get implemented, those kind of things, I can't really focus on those factors that I can't control. I can't control or influence attitude issues within the team that you're somewhat alluding to. I can't have any substantial impact on those. So I have to focus personally on what I'm capable of. Personally, I felt like I could have done more research probably. Taking those couple of extra hours when I was, getting off my job and a little more tired and wanting to relax in the evening, and dedicating that to figuring out what could be used against us. I focused primarily on how we could play against Pain Gaming, but I never really considered how Pain Gaming would try and then adapt to us. So I think I have a really good example for this. When Pain Gaming used Twisted Fate in the first game of the final, I was like, oh, shit, that's actually going to be a really good pick against us. Fuck, why didn't I ever think of that? Oh gosh. I felt like, okay, is that like something that Kami's played before? Is he known for that? Is that something I've completely missed? So that's when I began to put the responsibility on me and saying, okay, where did my research lack? Because, I never considered Twisted Fate. We never considered Twisted Fate. Do we miss it? Was it something completely new? And it seemed like it was a newer pick, but it wasn't something that we even considered with, okay, how could Pain Gaming deviate strategies? What are our weaknesses, and how could Pain target those? That's where I felt like my greatest shortcomings was that self-awareness of how we as a team could be punished and what picks or what strategies could be implemented against us, personally.
Fair enough. Did you guys get a chance to watch the other qualifier at all? The Turkish one?
I did watch a few games, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Ooh, in that case.
Daniel,
Daniel, yeah, hey. Yeah, talk to us
I
about
haven't watched them all. I mean,
yeah.
obviously, there's no time for that. But I remember telling you guys that Bangkok will actually win. Yeah.
Nice. So you coach a Latin American South team that got the so similar regions to KLG and Pain in the Central America and South America region. Did you get a chance to watch the Chile qualifier yourself?
Obviously.
Yeah.
I had a personal.
He wanted to see me cry.
No. Okay.
There was a Lord bet behind
the whole
scenes
story. The whole story is that KLG stole our star. Okay, so
and I made my star.
And he's my homeboy. He's my homeboy, and I wanted to see how well he does, and she actually did really well in the group stage. I think that the whole experience in the final was kind of too much for him. I don't think he was prepared to see that huge crowd, even if the entire crowd was actually cheering for them. But the experience, I think, really affected him on an emotional level. Right. But I mean, he still tried to do well. And yeah, I'm sad they didn't make it. I mean, they were the underdogs, obviously. And the whole LAS and LAN regions aren't really big enough yet to compete with such a developed region like Brazil for the moment, especially when it comes to the money that Brazilian teams can pump in players and the whole organizational aspect. But yeah, I was sad, obviously, for, I was at least expecting a 3-1 or maybe a 3-2, just taking them to that last decisive game. but that's life in the end. Yeah, and it's a plus. I think the people saw that even if the LAS and LAN regions are really small, they have a lot of potential, and maybe next year. That's the hope, right?
So what do you think?
Just
What
like
do you,
NA,
like
maybe
this?
next year.
This is a group question, I guess, since since all of you have involvement in the two Latin American scenes. What do you think it's going to take to have those regions develop into something like a Brazil, who's kind of like sprouted to be a top wildcard region?
So Daniel, you have the most time spent down there, so do you like to take it on first?
Ah, I don't know. I don't know. As I said, the first. I mean, I can take anything. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
I think the money is that's the main thing when when we're talking about this region is the monetary aspect. And just to make an example, okay, in LAS the entire championship was played online, and
Right.
the only thing that was played live was the LATAM final. Okay, so the game between KLG and Lion Gaming, and it's hard to develop that on-stage experience when you're being forced to play online every time. And it's probably the same as in Challenger, for example, in
Right.
EU or NA. And the server in LAS, at least, it's really new. It's one of the last servers that was put in place by Riot. So again, there aren't enough players yet. The scene is growing. There are more and more people playing every day, and it takes some time. It takes some time. It takes some more involvement from the sponsors, for example. I think that would be a nice thing to have. Another aspect that we have to take into consideration is that except for KLG, for example, last split, no other team had a gaming house, which again is a factor when we're talking about how well the region can develop. So yeah, there's a lot of things to be discussed here. I don't think we have enough time to get into detail on every aspect of what could be done. But there's hopes. There are hopes, at least for the next split. Riot has stepped up the game somewhat, and we're expecting a lot of good things to happen.
Right. So, Alex, your opinion on what it will take to develop the Latin American regions to be
Yeah.
something like a Brazil?
Like I think gaming houses and money will be like the most important aspects coming to next season. So like having a LCS studio will be a start, and forcing teams to actually move over there and group up so they can actually train like the LCS teams and other teams from other regions will be a huge step, of course. But also already that as an example, we are training against Brazilian teams. That's already the first step into getting better as a team and improving
Right.
by playing against better teams. So I think that helped us a lot, and I think Furus Gaming does the same. So I think that's a fact, and we should take this in account because those were the top two teams in the region. So I think the lack of international experience for other teams than maybe KLG, because it was the first, well, not the first, but the season that got international experience, will pay for the others, so they won't be able to reach higher levels that fast. So it depends a lot on how teams will stick together in the next season and stuff like that.
Do you think it would be better for the Latin American regions if there was something like what they do in Europe, where there's two different servers, and then you merge your two different servers, top players from each come together into one professional league?
No,
Do you think it would?
I don't think this works down there. Like, what I think they should do will be like something like a Copa America for football, just like for League of Legends with LATAM teams and Brazilian teams, because people are about hype down there. Like, they're very passionate, and they love hype. They love games, and they love to see them play against other regions. So I think a good start would be doing some kind of at least Latin American events where they actually can exchange experience together and maybe grow together, or even something like make some kind of IPL 5s or IMs again, where you get wildcard teams actually to play it, so
Right.
they will grow even faster. This is what I like to see, but I don't think it will be coming soon.
Colin, any thoughts on advancement of the Latin American regions?
I think it's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time. Right now, these regions are fairly new to the professional scene, so they need to have time to build the infrastructure. Like we said, only KLG has like a team house to game in, as well as a lack of international experience. It's going to take quite a while for just the talent to show up, for the infrastructure to improve, both in terms of connection, in terms of the pro league setup, in order for that talent to be then cultivated and then shaped into real professional talent. Which I aside from adding anything new, I really can't to these questions. I think Alex and Daniel, both with more experience, have covered it. Necrosia, I think I just butchered the pronunciation of that. He just mentioned a question in the Twitch chat I'd actually like to address because it relates to this topic. He asked, what are the thoughts on having Riot host more international tournaments so that these smaller wildcard regions can then get more international experience? So I would like that to happen, in all honesty. Do I think it's going to happen? Not really, because Riot just tends to shy away from those foreign competitions. They really focus on just like region locking for their own splits for some forsaken reason that I can't quite comprehend. And if Riot goes for that and they say, okay, Brazil, okay, Russians, okay, Turkish, we're going to give you a lot more national tournaments so then you guys can play against each other. Well, then, you know what I'm going to ask for? Cool. So can NA have more national tournaments? Well, can I see the NA and Korean teams? And then suddenly Riot's going to have more pressure to host more tournaments, which is going to cost them more money, which they could potentially make back. But until the regions develop and until Riot begins to truly broaden the amount of foreign competition that we're having, which they've begun to do so a little bit this season with the introduction of MSI, but I have no idea what the extent it's going to grow in the next season. I would like to see it for sure. I'm doubtful that would occur, at least as of next year.
I think
I don't know about MSI. sorry, Jacob. I think MSI is more of like a show, a spectacle, than a truly international event. So I don't think Riot will do any of these, and the only option that I would see that would benefit the entire scene, and I'm talking here for all the wildcard regions, would be tournaments that aren't run by Riot directly, but by people like, I don't know, ESL, IEM, IPL, things like this, which will probably not happen in the near future.
Yeah. The only way I see... Sorry, Jacob. The only way I see more international tournaments coming up is if Riot releases League into open circuits. So then other tournament providers can host them.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. That's like the best way probably for Riot, the company, to actually like have foreign competition, or rather League of Legends, the game, to get more international play, so that there's not just one tournament provider.
It's also a very big like return on investment thing. I think this is the first season Riot has not lost money and come back in the red for NA and EU. Like their profit from it compared to their money they're putting into it and investment, and it is primarily funded by skin sales and in-game purchases of the game itself. So yeah, I think that, in my opinion, is probably a big thing that will have to change for the Latin American regions. Is they'll have to see higher viewership, and they'll have to, they will have to have more money coming in before they just, dump out on tournaments for the region.
Yeah, probably, but you still have to invest money to make money.
That's true.
It's not like the EU and NA regions just sprung up from dirt one day and they just took them. So what I think they should do is actually just steal a page or two from the Valve manual on how Valve does the CSGO thingy, with the whole tournaments and all that stuff, and the way they monetize the game, which wouldn't be such a bad idea in the end. It could be done, but we're talking about things that most people know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And it's also like North America and Europe had open circuits before LCS was a thing. So, I mean, there was a lot of other bigger investors like Intel and IGN that were investing. So.
I mean, most known are the IEM and IPL events, I guess.
Right. So
I mean, everybody remembers IPL 5, right?
Oh yeah, oh
oh,
yeah.
yeah,
It was
it's
like
historic.
better than Worlds.
I mean,
right?
we now even have
So-
stats on eSportspedia about that.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, and that rate.
Shout outs too.
So,
Is the show already over? Oh, how-
so let's just kind of briefly cover Turkey because I think, or like the Turkish tournament because I think we all watched it, so or some of it.
Yeah, I watched a little bit before going to the CBLO studios to practice because they were aired like when I woke up like every morning 8 a.m. I'm trying to wake up Primo, it's time to go to the studio. We have to go breakfast and then to the studio. And I was watching the games before I went out for breakfast. And then I was watching I think Bangkok Titans play and they brought out like Mondo Sejuani. And I was like, okay, what is happening here? I guess it's a wild card, and that was actually very different than I expected because I was going watching that tournament like, yeah, Chiefs definitely gonna take this. I think they are the best team going to this, and maybe the Turkish team, Turk Passage, will fight for that because I mean they are playing at home. They are at the more developed region there, so I guess they have a better chance. But then the Japanese came up. Like, I was actually really surprised on how well they played for a team that doesn't even have a proper server to train on.
Yeah.
And now they are even worse in that situation. And I was actually surprised because they brought up a few things that we haven't seen before, like Cillian mid lane.
Cillian mid.
And I think it was, I think that was the first time I've seen the GP mid thing, which I was actually impressed because I think not even the LPL brought that up in time, in that same time frame. So it was actually really exciting. And I was trying to look for a way how could Chiefs lose this, but they didn't play actually that well in the finals. It was like right there, I'm gonna carry this 1v5. Let's try this. That's how I saw the tournament, but we can go briefly into the teams if you want to.
I
failed to
reckon when you're
mention
playing.
one important thing about this tournament, which is the first day of this tournament.
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Because I couldn't.
Yeah,
did.
that's the thing, because nobody could watch it. And that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing.
What
So they
actually
screwed up in
happened?
the worst way possible.
As far as I understood, it was like they had lags on the server because they weren't playing on an offline server. They were playing on the EU tournament realm, as far as I understood. And they got internet problems, I think DDoS attacks or simply
Yeah,
provider
it was
problems.
the first game. Chiefs in the BKT game got DDoSed, and they had to go back and replay it. And like BKT was being like really Bangkok Titans were being really BM about it and like talking shit. And then they played again, and Chiefs just destroyed them. So
And then Bangkok Titans just destroyed them in the
won the
finals.
final. Yeah.
So
like-
yeah, in the end, you know, the one who laughs last laughs best. So yeah, but that's a huge thing, and I remember seeing on Reddit, obviously, a lot of posts about these things happening a lot in Turkey, which kind of undermines the whole competitive integrity,
Oh yeah, I can actually
which
tell
we know
a bit
so
more
much
about
about.
this because a team I worked with was actually involved in this lately because they were playing I think Zone Esports and they got DDoS Zone Esports got DDoSed and they both tried to get a rematch because like happens DDoS attacks it wasn't first time.
It happens in the challenger
And-
scene too, if you
Yeah, I
remember.
mean denial.
It's-
Yeah,
Does it
Denial's probably the most recent example.
And Riot Turkey didn't remake it, so like it's something that is there sadly, but like we were lucky down there in Brazil that we were playing on a tournament realm offline, and not
And you did the same in Chile, right?
yeah sure.
Yeah, so that's the thing, okay? So you can have a tournament realm in Brazil. Okay, that's not so spectacular, seeing that's Brazil and it's a really developed scene. And you can have one in Chile, okay? But you can't have one in Turkey, which is kind of amazing for me that you can have that. And this is a huge screw up from Riot, especially when it's something so important, because it wasn't like, the denial DDoS was bad. okay,
Yeah.
because they were denied entrance into the LCS in a way. But we're talking here about the World Championship, which is the biggest event in League of Legends, right? You shouldn't see those kind of things happening. And the thing is that in the first day, the match didn't last long enough for Riot to make a decision who the winner is. Because if the game would have passed the 20 minutes mark, Riot would have just said these guys won because they were ahead.
Right.
And that's it. Okay, so that for me is a huge thing. That's something that everybody should talk about, because these kind of rules, which I don't think any org likes in the end. Okay, because yeah, it might favor you one day, but the next day it might just turn against you. This should be revisited somehow, and maybe have all the organizations that are participating in the major leagues come together and get to an agreement on how the things should be done.
Yeah, I agree. So it's a very like we said earlier, like both international wild card is kind of, both of them are very off because there's a lot of factors that come in that shouldn't be there just because it's not like a regular league with like a gauntlet or anything. So traveling halfway across the world.
Yeah.
Well, for most teams.
So.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody
actually,
except Turkey.
I actually didn't understand that why Russia played with us down there.
I didn't either. Yeah. So I
Neither
thought
did the Russians. So
I was
that's
trying.
okay.
I thought logically that they'd put DFM with you guys and they put hard random with the Turkish people.
Well, I would have liked to see Chiefs, for example, instead of DFM, because
Yeah, that
I
would
mean,
work.
Pain were already favorites. Okay, Pain
Right.
already knew that Pain is probably gonna win. Okay, so why not bring somebody that's stronger, that's there, and make it more interesting than that? Because you know that if you're bringing detonation focus me, it's the smallest region. It's even smaller than LAS, right? Yeah. It's the newest. Yeah. They don't have a server. They have practically nothing to work with, and they still had a good show. Well, yeah, they do, but still, it counts. It counts if you don't have good ping when you're playing solo queue, if you don't have a server for your LCS, things like that, and that's a hindrance any way you look at it. And they still had a good show. I was actually really sad I don't have an anime T-shirt, so I can put it on and watch the games.
Dude, you have to have a Utah T-shirt now. Utah is the new hype, man. He played really well.
Yeah. No. I mean, if I had a T-shirt with Attack on Titan, I would have put it on and just make a selfie for the first time in my life. Because that's what they did actually. They were attacking Titans. Well, they eventually lost.
And everyone just got that.
Yeah.
Daniel, you are a god of the puns.
Yeah, okay. I'm the new Broken Shard.
Freak, are you taking lessons from here?
Oh yeah, or Freak, right.
Wait, are you really Daniel?
Yeah, I'm in disguise actually. I'm Freak. I have to admit.
He peels the face back.
Yeah, I
just
feel.
No, it's blood. Okay.
So yeah, one thing that stuck out to me for the Turkish tournament was that both Chiefs and BKT did so well compared to like DP and the Turkey region, who were, I wouldn't say favored, but I definitely expected them to put a little bit more up of a fight given their history as a region. So was that surprising to anyone else? So.
Well, the Turkish scene had sort of a rough time this last split, so I actually didn't expect them to perform that well. And I expect, for example, BKT to do better in the group stage than they did. But yeah, otherwise everything was kind of what you expected. And I was really happy to see DFM actually beating, their two victories were against the teams that went to the final, which is really nice. Gives them a lot of hope. But yeah, otherwise the games were more or less what I expected them to be.
I mean, we could talk about the picks Bangkok Titans played in that tournament, which were very interesting if we want to go a bit in deeper, looking into Worlds, because they played something really different. And considering that actually Chiefs had a perfect run through their split, only dropping one game in the finals. And what else? We had like a very shaky TCL this split. I don't know who of you watched it very closely, but I catched up a few games. So Jacob, do you want to actually talk a little bit about this? Because in the Turkish was actually the more developed region from this tournament, and they had like I think the shakiest season in a while.
From what I saw, like in a general synopsis, because I want to talk a little bit about groups and then put these guys into perspective. But from what I saw from watching the Turkish teams, it was like it's very top heavy, and it's a lot like your other what like LMS is the same way and NA is the same way as well. Is that your number one team is pretty light years beyond everyone else, and then everyone else just kind of is there, and it's just kind of a shit show. And that's how I felt like this season with CLG. CLG was really good. CLG was phenomenal in playoffs, and everybody else like TSM, TL, and Tip and
Well,
Friends
actually,
and
this
Cloud9.
This split, it wasn't DNA scene that was like that. It was actually Europe, where you had Fnatic up there and everybody else.
Well,
Because
no,
let's
because
remember, in
if you
NA,
look-
in NA,
CLG
But if you look at playoffs, though, if you look at playoffs in Europe, the reason I don't say that Europe is top heavy is because one, your final was a 5-game final. First off,
Yeah.
two, your second place team that almost beat Fnatic went to 5 games with Rockhat,
Yep.
and then like
Yeah.
Rockhat didn't like they beat UOL, but it wasn't like a giant stomp. So I don't feel.
I have a really good explanation for that. I had a really good explanation
now
for
it
that.
comes. Now it comes.
Since this split, actually Europe, nothing was close. Everything was kind of, what you expected. You would expect Fnatic after mid-season, let's say. Expect Fnatic to be the first. You expect Origin to be the second, and things like that. Nothing was close really during the split. You would expect Europe to be Europe in the playoffs. Okay, so that's what we had a standard to keep, and we did it finally.
I mean, yeah,
Everybody just came together and said, "Okay, guys, we're gonna do the playoffs the way you used to do playoffs.
And
Everything
in the
will
end,
be really close."
In the end, Fnatic wins, right? So,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are
Well,
we-
that's
Closely. Closely. It's close.
it's always
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean-
It's UOL, boys.
But like that's how I feel. I feel like that's probably your best like Western comparison for your Turkish region is that it's just really top heavy. It's a lot like NA and LMS where your teams are like your number one team's pretty good compared to the rest of the region, and then everybody else is just kind of a shit show when you go any further down. So
Yeah, you're
Yeah, they're very, very undeveloped, and they have coaching staffs as well. So that's why maybe the 2 top teams are better because they actually have coaching staffs.
yeah, I mean Besiktas they looked worse than they did in the spring before the spring qualifier for MSI. So
Yeah, but they had also some roster swaps that, in my opinion, didn't work out, even though they
Right.
picked up good players. And but that's what the way I see it, because the difference of having a coaching staff and maybe the talent helps a lot than when you see like teams that were like below the 4th place in TCL. They didn't have a proper coaching staff. They had a manager that was doing managing and coaching at the same time. So the quality was very, very below the others.
right, I agree. So coming into Worlds with your 2 qualifiers, with BKT and Pain, BKT. I'm sorry, I don't see you
yeah.
winning a single game. You got thrown into the actual like Group D is a group of death, but like Group C is like, yeah, it's just the SKT.
Attack on Titan.
ET.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah, Attack on
You know
Titan.
that there was a board post on Brazilian forums. There was literally for Group D like SKT as a 1 Titan, and LGD as one Titan, and then you had like the humans actually fighting the Titans as Bangkok Titans and H2K. That was glorious. I need to find that. That was so good.
I love how meta it gets with Titans fighting Titans.
I don't see BKT winning a single game. Like, maybe they could challenge H2K, but I highly doubt it. And they're definitely not challenging EDG and SKT. So I don't think there's really much to say
team in that group. It's obvious that in that specific group it will be between SKT and EDG. There's no other way around.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for the Koreans.
Yeah. I'm rooting for the Chinese, so we differ.
No, I
mean you're Chinese Koreans.
You had to listen till the end. I'm rooting for the Koreans, which are part of the EDG lineup.
GG, well played. Boys, I found it. I found it. Look at the beautiful Twitch chat. There's this beautiful link.
God, no.
Look at this.
Okay, Attack on Titans.
Oh my! Group, there's gifts for everyone. Oh my god.
Okay, so we have to talk about the groups because it will be interesting. Okay, somebody relink that. I didn't see it.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, so now we have. So for Group A though, and Pain, who looked really good in the finals and looked good throughout most of the tournament in Chile. Pain is now thrown into the inconsistent group, as I've been calling it on other shows and podcasts. They're thrown into the group that is every team in there has flaws that sometimes like to come out to play and they just shit the bed. So how do you guys think Pain will do and perform against Ku, Flash Wolves, and CLG?
Actually, I think they can't even get out of this group because I see this group this way. Okay, we have a CLG with a different genre. I was actually watching the finals yesterday and analyzing it in Portuguese and trying to understand how did CLG 3-0 TSM in the finals. I've seen a lot of flaws in the mid laner and the top laner's positioning and play, which were actually decently covered by Afromu and Xmiffy. But the thing is, they are heading with Hui in the jungle because Xmiffy isn't able to play because of visa problems or something like that. And Hui is a mid laner. Let's start with this. Hui is a mid laner. So I don't think these flaws that CRG showed and they got through because they got the victor and they had the jungler playing what he needed to play in order to succeed against TSM. He won't be there. So this might be a problem. Going to Flash Wolves, they are a good team sometimes. They are also a very bad team sometimes. They are so inconsistent that it's very hard to predict their performance. And then when we talk about Ku Tigers, I always remember on IEM when they started the season really well, and then a new patch came in and they never existed on that same performance before. So Q might take this group probably because it's okay, it's a Korean team, it's a better team and has a better coaching staff, but there's a thing called patch 5.18. They still might not adapt 100% perfectly to the patch as they need to. So they could have some flaws. So in my opinion, it's very hard to predict this group. So if I had to choose two teams, according to circumstances, I would even go with Flash Wolves and Pain, because I think they will adapt better, and they don't have the problem not having their starting jungler, or the history of not adapting to patch as well, which might be a problem. And even though they might learn from the experience not adapting to patches before, I still doubt that Ku Tigers will adapt the way they need to the patch to even get out of groups.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, come on. Yeah, IEM was IEM. I mean,
still.
Still.
They didn't play good.
My issues with that particular argument, it's, Ku Tigers has shown some improvement over the season.
Yeah.
They've been adapting with the patches. Yes, now the jungle changes that happened in 5.4, or it's 5.5, whenever Cinderhulk was introduced, the advent of Cinderhulk, I'll just leave it like that. I mean, that targeted their jungle position, and that's honestly the team's weakest link. Smeb still performed marvelously well through it. Kuro had his issues with it because he also lost a lot of his assassins.
And that's the thing.
I mean, and they've been able to adapt a lot of the picks. I think that,
I think
he's done well with poke champions with Varus. I don't see why Kuro can't maybe pick up Gangplank in the mid lane. I don't know how well Ku Tigers are developing with it. So you do have a point when it comes to the Ku Tigers adapting with the meta changes, but I also think that they are a team that's learned from those mistakes. Because you have to keep this in mind, okay? Like, Ku Tigers took KT Rolster to, like, 5 games in the semifinals.
But KT Rolster got stomped really hard by SKT.
KT Rolster played like shit in the finals, but they didn't play the level they did in semifinals.
But still, there was a big difference of level in between the teams, and that's what I should say. I want to say. The hype is bigger in my opinion than the quality of the games, because yeah, you have a point. Smeb is a good top laner, and if they want to win, it will be a lot on Smeb because it's a top lane heavy meta. And I see your point. KT was playing really good, and they took them to 5 games, but still, the performance that KT had against SKT1 showed me that the level of between Korean teams, like SKT1 is here, and then is everything else. And
It's also a top-heavy region.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So basically, I think people are overhyping them a bit too much, because I didn't see like the consistency in play that would offer me to say, okay, all right, they had a definitely better season, and that's why I don't think like Ku Tigers isn't that good of a level and shape yet. But again, I might be wrong, because they could adapt pretty well, and I still think that if Ku Tigers won't win, Smeb will carry, because it's a meta offering for a carry top laner. So I stay on the facts that they have problems adapting to patches, even in the after IEM. So I'm gonna stick with the idea that the problems will be there, and Flash Wolves and Pain will get through because of the other teams having problems.
See, so okay, first off, meme time. Like, I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here with Alex. Okay, so Alex was, he was always talking about how, all right, boys, KLGs, I'm going to come over there and we're going to kick some Brazilian ass. He believed in KLG all the way to the very end. And then, he fights the way through the group stages. Okay, they're struggling through that, and they get out of that tiebreaker with hard random, and then it's on to the finals. Like, all right, boys, this is it. We got our preparation in. It's the best of series. Home turf, let's go. And then they get 3-0'd. So Alex is sitting there distraught with his broken team, and he's thinking there, wow, Pain must be really fucking good. Pain must be really exquisite. Maybe I underestimated how good they are. They could take worlds. That's it. That's right. That's the reason why we lost. Pain is an elite level team. That's exactly what's going on here with Alex.
The broken.
I hate you. I hate you.
Maybe KLG just wasn't too good. Anyway, so
yeah, it's the Stockholm syndrome of esports.
Yes.
I just totally thought. Anyways, so second thing to bring on is that I think that when it comes to specifically in the matchups between Pain and Ku Tigers, one thing that we do have to consider with it is Pain had issues closing out the games through the group stages of international wildcards. So they have this mid-game and late-game slip, which I personally think that the Ku Tigers can totally abuse. So in order for Pain and Flash Wolves to get out of the group stages, but both of them to get out of the group stages against the Ku Tigers, they have to beat the Ku Tigers in that mid and late game where the Ku Tigers are freaking immaculate in. So there is a style point. For Pain to be able to progress out of the group with Yoey, Flash Wolves, and Alex's scenario, they have to overcome that whole stylistic mismatch. Not even stylistic mismatch, strength mismatch.
This group will
depend
a lot on how Ku Tigers will adapt to the patch. Will they play on a decent level? Will they find something that works for them in the patch? Because definitely they are the better team. I'm not saying anything else. But they have the struggles between patches, which I see might be there because they don't have that much of a time to actually prepare really well or train. There is no official match that we can take in account for that.
Right.
What do you want to say, Jacob?
I think much like the first day of the Turkish qualifier, this will be, I think first day of Worlds will be a shit show because you'll see the OPs like just blaze out because there's, there is no evidence of what's going to be like super broken on a competitive stage. So I think, it's 5.18, brand new patch, so you'll see first day, you'll see a couple picks that will get let through, and I'm predicting stomps from teams that may not be able to stomp just because overpowered champions.
Yeah.
The only problem Pain are having is that they're actually boot camping in Europe, while Tigers went actually to Korea on boot camp. And
left Korea to go.
They left Korea to go to Korea.
Well, no. Wait,
training
I
with
actually
the
know
thing-
something about this that's
Yeah.
relevant context before you say what you're saying.
Don't spoil
KT,
a very good article that you could write by saying this.
nah, it's not. KT, Ku, and SKT are on 2-week vacation right now, so they'll be back. They'll be back next week, I believe. But they've been gone for a while. So the other teams.
So they were actually boot camping in Bahamas. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
They saw OMG's military like training drill stuff. And they said, "Hey, we could do something like that. Can we not make it military? Can we just make it like business casual?" All right, sure, whatever. And,
Okay, we're going to the Netherlands. Yeah, let's do that.
But
Wow,
actually,
well,
I would
No, but
say
I
that
think-
because there are still some decent teams here scrimming. So I guess Pain will get some decent practice. And what everybody else
They're not
will
gonna
have
get
that
decent practice.
Pain won't have is jet lag.
They're not gonna have good practice in Europe right now. They're not. I know they're not gonna have good practice in Europe right now.
There's something else to bring up as well. Can't remember which Pain player it was, but he said that they were having to pay for scrims, and that was later debunked by a Korean reporter who.
Okay.
had
I
quotes from every team.
can add something to that because I was actually watching the interview live, and it was BRTT, the AD carry of Pain. Let's say it that way. He said he heard something like somebody told us that we might have to pay like something around $5,000 to get scrims with Korean teams. Wait a second. He said this like a comment, like a rumor he heard. He can't
Okay.
give him sure. But, people got it wrong and made a huge thing about it, which shouldn't be having.
But yeah, so like all the
Because-
Korean teams got upset and they went and talked. From what I saw, they talked to a Korean reporter who spoke to every team that was in Korea and practicing still.
Oh, but that's right. 5,000
Yeah,
is way too
I need
low
to look.
for scrim with the Korean team. I would actually charge a lot more to scrim with this Korean team.
And at
You want
least
our
Master
Oriental
Zolkyu.
secrets?
Well, I don't know.
$5,000 just the entry level to access that. 10
Yeah, something like that. Maybe low-level Korean team.
I reckon that Payne will probably have the least amount of practice of everyone in this group. So, or the lowest level of practice, I guess, would be the best way to say.
Yeah.
So, so I guess what is everybody's predictions for the group? Well, I'll go.
Okay, for Group
I'll go
A.
right to left. So Daniel, you're first.
For Group A, I would say Tigers first. Second place, I think it will depend on how well Huhi can adapt to the jungle. But I have faith in CLG. But I would say either CLG or Pain. And Yowie Flash Wolves will
Not
be the
healing
last.
anymore.
Or whatever, no, the Flash
You're
Wolves.
gonna trigger an LMS. here.
Where's Gumi Who? Where's Gumi Who?
yeah.
I need a tweet at him. You won't believe what
Yeah,
that
trigger
is.
alert. Nobody get triggered. Yeah, but that's it. I don't see Flash Wolves making top 2, and I don't see any other team challenging Tigers that much in the group stage. Even if it's the inconsistency group, I still think that out of all those 4 teams, Tigers are probably the most consistent right now. If CLG would have had Xmiri, I would have said maybe KLG to win the group. But I'll have to see exactly how their jungle is without Xmiri.
I'm not gonna worry about him individually. He used to play jungle in Korea, and he's a good player in the jungle. It's team communication I'm worried about
Yeah,
for CLG.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
individually, I think he's probably a better jungler.
No,
than
I mean,
Switch. So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily that he's a worse player in itself than Xmiri, but there is this aspect of team communication and the way people are just used to
Right.
communicating with other teammates, and whenever you're taking one teammate away and just putting somebody else, even if who he, as far as I know, he worked very close with the team for like
Right.
4 months or something like that.
Yeah, he moved in with them
It's
in
still
May.
an unknown in the end. We still have to see how well he does in the end. So that's why I'm saying CLG 2 at best. But if Huhi really adapts well to the jungle, which I think he can, and the team can adapt to the way he is doing things in game, they may even get first place out of that group.
Fair enough. Alex, your predictions?
So I'm gonna be the ballsy one and call with my ballsy prediction, and I still not 100% down that Cool Tigers have learned 100% from their flaws, but I'll go with COG first place and Paint second.
Ooh.
Hashtag faithing.
Go Paint!
Go back, yeah. Alex is just totally giving into the fangirls.
Definitely.
Yeah, we should read the in-van reactions after this show, which no Korean will ever watch.
Right, yeah, basically.
Colin, predictions?
I'm gonna say Q and CLG get out of the groups. I don't know who could take first place. I think there's
Dude,
potential.
they beat KLG, come on.
Yeah, our tilty team, my friend, our tilty team.
My personal predictions were Ku first, CLG second, Flash Wolves third, Pain fourth. Which
I do think Payne could, probably take third over.
I think they
at
they
least
will
third
win a
should be
game.
good.
I think that they could kaboom CLG in some part in this group stage, but
The revenge.
I'm actually
Revenge.
excited to see the SMAP Milo matchup. To be honest, I am actually really excited to see that matchup. I would be.
Yeah, I'm
lying.
excited to see Smeb just dance on him with a Fiora, Ribbon. Any. I waited for him to bust out.
They would probably just be banned, to be honest. I don't think.
I don't think
that
Mylon
much.
will play a single game of Gangplank. To be honest,
Probably.
I don't think so.
I would be surprised if Gangplank gets through in any bans.
I think he will get maybe in day one, but not necessarily against Spain because
Well,
Okay, so
there's
nobody's
some
talking
sense on
about the
what-
elephant in
Yeah.
the room right here. Aren't you all excited to see Mordekaiser? I mean, that's
On the
Well,
ban
that's the
list,
huge
24/7? Sure.
well,
Playing
BRTT
gaming,
already
playing
did
Mordekaiser.
bring out a Mordekaiser Pentakill in Europe West, so I guess it's working out for us.
man, I want to see Pain
man.
Gaming's 80 carry play Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser 80 carry the dragon around with him. Just
You just
Go
want to
have
see
some
it because
fun.
of Brazilian memes and go and spam in Twitch chat. Quack, 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 quack. Let's be real. That's all we really want to see. That's how Payne wins the Hearts of the World Championship. They just play Mordekaiser.
play Mordekaiser 80 carry.
yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. And Riot's like, look, it's working. And then when they lose, it's like, yeah, that was a stupid fucking idea. Sorry. Sorry.
I think
we're
Mordekaiser
tilted.
is really good. So I would love. Now I'm expecting to see him at the World Championship. I'm expecting to see very good AD carries, like for example Imp, just playing Mordekaiser. That would be a breath of fresh air, and just stomp everybody with the new meta. But we'll see. We'll see.
So moving on to Group B. Group B is an interesting draw. It is, going down the line, my thoughts on it at least, easily the best European team, look really clean, look really, they communicate well, they play well. Yeah, good team.
Holla, 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 holla.
IG, who is the most inconsistent Chinese team at the tournament. They're the worst team or Chinese team at the tournament. AHQ, who I think a lot of people are underrating. They are the top heavy. They are the top heavy good part of the LMS. They did okay at MSI. They got beat by EDG, but EDG was really good then. So I can't really fault them for losing to EDG. And then Cloud9, which is the weakest we've seen Cloud9 in 3 years, or 2.5 years. But they had the Cinderella run of the Gauntlet. where they upset everyone and reverse sweep memes. So, yeah, guys, thoughts on Group B?
Who wants to start?
What? High's third consecutive Worlds. High
Bank memes
retirement
broke
at Jungle. Cloud9.
World's dreams.
What the hell? I'm just gonna cry for Sneaky. That's
Yeah,
Group B is,
most likely.
Group B, I'm just gonna hope and be like, "Okay, Sneaky, just give me another game like you did against Samsung Blue in Season 4. Just pop up, just one time,
Yeah, so I think we can't
But, yeah.
we can't talk about this group without talking about the famous already Jet controversy.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
you had to bring that up. You
Am I
had to
right?
bring that up.
I'm right. No, I had to because
Christ.
Cloud9 has a really big issue, and that really big issue has a name, and that name is balls. And
Cloud9's balls,
that's the only reason for which I don't see Cloud9 even winning one game in this group.
No, looking
So
at
there
the,
you go.
Yeah, looking at the regional qualifiers from NA, I've gotten through the quarterfinals so far. It seems like teams just don't know how to handle a lot of High's gimmicks in the jungle, like his Shyvana, so he absorbs a ban through that.
Which
And then-
was nerfed with the 580.
With the Devour.
Yeah, you know what will
a little
happen? Okay, so Haya has a lot of things that he does, which NA teams can't react to or don't know how to. And what will happen in this group, the other teams won't give a flying spaghetti
Yeah,
monster.
but they're gonna actually deal with
Wait,
it. Yeah.
flying spaghetti?
High's gonna AFK in the jungle. If he AFKs in the jungle for 20 minutes, then Balls is gonna get wrecked in lane by the high pressure ganks coming out from the enemy jungle.
Yeah, you can imagine.
Or Sneaky's gonna get attention in the bottom lane, and I know Sneaky's good, but I don't think Sneaky and Lemon as a duo combination is gonna stand up against any other one. So Sneaky's not gonna be able to draw
I
as
think
much pressure as he did in NA.
the mid lane is really fine for Cloud9. The bottom
Yeah,
the bottom lane is really fine. The jungle is so-so, but the top lane is like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to say that because I think Balls was really the best top laner in NA, but he really dropped off a lot this year, and it's very
Ever since,
unfortunate. And if you
Ever since IEM San Jose, he's kind of changed.
Yeah,
I noticed.
Ever since San
Probably
Jose,
the
Cloud9
entire
in jungle.
And just think about this: when Cloud9 will face Fnatic, and we're going to have the matchup of Huni versus Balls in the top lane. I mean, if you give Huni one kill, you're done for. That's it. And this is going to happen in the, in the early game.
You have to force
That's
him on
about
Lulu.
it. And Cloud9 aren't known for their lane swapping prowess. Okay, and we'll see. But I don't think Cloud9 has any chance of winning any game because even if IG is really shaky sometimes and is the most inconsistent of the Chinese team, IG is still a Chinese team. Okay, and it's one of the best Chinese teams.
They still have arguably the best jungler in the world too.
And they played definitely good games by the end of the split.
Yeah, exactly. AHQ is again, it's a really really good team. So, they're actually Cloud9 are just in the position of Bangkok Titans, right here.
Yeah, basically.
Exactly the same thing. I don't see them winning any games.
Oh, Jacob dropped off. So.
No, the Jacob.
No, Jacob. Okay.
Daily.DDoS confirmed.
Yeah.
Um.
We anger some DDoSers.
Well, what did I want to say? Like the thing I see in this group is that actually AHQ could sweep through second place because they are good and aggressive in the early game. So they could take teams by surprise that are actually not that good in the early game. Like C9 is not that great in the early game, Fnatic has their flaws in the early game, and even IG is not the perfect team in the early game. But they had like a decent ward coverage in coming to the mid game, so like I see a possibility that this group is really good for AHQ simply because nobody is really excelling in the early game as they are. So I think if there was a group that AHQ could come through, this is the right one.
Well, I mean, you could have put them in Group A. that would have been a way better chance for them to get out of the group stage.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, this is kind of the second option for them.
Let's say the serious one, because
in a way, I'm really scared about Fnatic because I really like Fnatic, and I've been a Fnatic fan for a long time, and I would love them to see progress. But I think this is a group that's not boding very well for them, because they're facing two teams which are really good at skirmishes.
I have to.
They know how to play around certain things,
Jacob's
at which
back.
Fnatic. Okay, is he back?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
Jacob's back.
Internet outages.
And yeah, it happens in Murica.
Yes, it does.
Sorry.
Riot server moves interfering with our podcast. God damn.
Yeah.
We got this. We got this.
So my best predictions for this group would be like IG. I would see IG being the first in this group.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then
That's
I would see it would be very close between Fnatic and HQ. Let's not forget that the last time Fnatic played HQ won.
That's true.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but they had.
I mean, yeah, it was only one game, true, and the Fnatic that was playing then is not the Fnatic that's playing now, but neither is HQ. Okay, so HQ also worked from then until now, and they improved. So we'll see. I think it's very close. The LMS region is a very strong region, which hadn't had so much attraction for the international community in League of Legends, but they're proving they're a really strong region, and I think they could upset somebody in this group, either Fnatic or IG. It will very much depend on how they play.
I think it will be IG. I have like the set. I have the feeling that even though Fnatic might not have worked what they need to work on in their early game, I think they will be one of the best teams in terms of map and macro play coming to this tournament. Not only by shot calling, but also because of the All-Stars. Extremely good leadership. So I think we see a lot of flaws that they could be exposed to in this group, because actually there are teams that can abuse their weaknesses, but I doubt they will not overcome them in this group. Because like I say, I think AHQ is the only team that could win this group simply because there are 3 other teams that aren't as good on what they are good at.
Yeah,
so
that could be. I don't see them necessarily placing first in this group.
No,
but
I see that as well.
I could see them in the second place.
Yeah,
but it will very much depend on how much work the other teams are putting in. And when I say the other teams, I'm not talking about Cloud9.
Could we see a reverse sweep by Cloud9 again?
Not
I
a
think,
chance.
Have to have a best of series for.
I don't see anyone else, or like I don't see Fnatic getting anything but first for this group.
Yeah.
Like if they don't, they should be very disappointed in themselves.
I'll agree with
that. I see Cloud9 maybe winning one game on AHQ or IG, but I don't see them getting anything higher than fourth. So.
You are literally Mose's favorite person right now, because you predicted Cloud9 will win a game.
Yeah. So let's go
right now.
Right to left again. Predictions for placements. Daniel?
Well, as I said, I mean, I would see IG first, Fnatic second, AHQ third, Cloud9 fourth.
Okay. Alex?
1 Fnatic, second AHQ, third IG, fourth Cloud9.
Colin?
Fnatic first. I'm gonna say it's gonna be between IG or AHQ. I haven't watched either of those reasons too well, to be honest, though.
You have to make a prediction. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know that. I'll say HQ second.
Okay.
He believes in me.
I think Fnatic first, AHQ second, IG 3, Cloud9 4.
But 1-5, not 0-6, right?
Yeah, that's the only different thing.
All right.
It's not that they're at fourth. It's how they are at fourth.
I mean, we could talk about solo queue developments and solo queue rankings, but
No, but
we
to be honest, I
shouldn't.
mean, that the whole thing wasn't like only solo queue. No, Chad wasn't talking about only about his solo queue performance, but it's a trend, right? I mean, he was right.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's right. I was a little bit more disappointed in his presentation, and you can only I think he should have put together like a twit longer or like a blog post explaining why he thinks what he thought, because just the way he tweeted it like came off wrong. But I think he
I don't
has
know. For me, the tweet
flaws in
didn't look
consistency.
anything that could offend somebody. But yeah, I mean, we're living in a society, in a time where everybody gets offended really easily. I
Yeah.
don't think it was meant as an offense to balls.
No, I don't think it
And
was
just
either.
saying that it's a trend. I mean, it's the word itself. It's a trend. I mean, he's having issues in the regular season. He's also having issues in solo queue. So there is a trend to see there, right? We don't have to go further than that. But yeah, I mean that's what happens on social media. So he probably should have known better that saying things like that could get some people angry. I haven't seen a reaction from Bowles, actually. I've only seen reaction from other players.
Pro players.
I would have been really curious to see how Bowles would respond to
See, this is where Balls is just like
Jet's
intellectually
tweet.
honest, and he's just like, no, he's right. And everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, just like we're defending it. Yeah, dude, I
And then
suck
people
myself.
like Sneaky, just get offended on Bowles'
Yeah, no,
behalf.
Jat was not out of line at all
Yeah.
with those tweets. Just everybody's being hypersensitive fucking pussies. I'll say it like that.
sort of.
I'll say it like
Yeah,
that.
be a man. Be a man.
So yeah, on to Group C. I think predictions are pretty easy in this group.
I think Bangkok Titans will win. And second place, H2K.
Big
Man,
Where's Saberwolf? Where's Saberwolf? I did this for him.
I'm literally reliving season 3 world when you're
Oh
making
my
these predictions.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
this.
no, I
this
think
is
it's a fairly
this
easy
is,
one to call.
Yeah, it's like the
This
most.
is like I
obvious.
think what like aside from Alex going for the dank memes, I think everyone's gonna put SKT first, EDG second, or maybe even
Yeah.
EDG first if they think that they can
No.
win the style matchup.
No.
No, SKT.
SKT.
Yeah, this is a clear-cut group.
I
Unless
get-
something
I don't know.
major happens, like a meteorite just falling down on the SK Telecom team, and
They play
or
Easy
on
Hoon.
Yeah,
Oh! Oh no! Please, Kikoma, don't ruin esports history.
or maybe I don't know.
He's
I don't know
he's
if
probably
Lulex
gonna do it.
gets
He's
beat
probably
by a
gonna spin.
spider. Okay, so if Lulex gets beat by a spider that's radioactive, and he suddenly becomes the best jungler that will ever be.
Radioactive.
Because Spider-Man
Yeah.
is good at League of Legends. Okay.
No, I mean,
Yeah, things like that,
we
I
still
don't
have the Tongue Joker in the bench, so at the moment, Lulex decides not to perform. With Tongue Joker, we come in, and maybe do some wonders with the Lee Sin. Because he was
Yeah.
crushing you solo queue
Yeah.
with that, and he was really, really good. So, I guess...
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, the thing is, they have a really good lineup, H2K, and I've been a fan of H2K ever since they were like Cloud9 Eclipse or whatever they were called
Right.
back in the
Yeah.
day.
Cloud9 Eclipse.
And I would really like to see them succeeding, but they just happen to be in a really, really tough group. And I don't know. I know it will be nice to see Ryu facing Faker again. That will be nice to see. But
Just
overall, I
fucking
think everybody can
highlights.
agree on how strong
I-
SK Telecom is and how strong EDG is.
I kind of feel that EDG could take first strictly. I think it depends a lot on Clearlove and Koro, and Aaron if they use Amazing J. If Clearlove is on his normal form, and I think he's probably him and Kakao are competing for the best jungler in the world in my mind at the tournament. And I think if Clearlove is on form and Koro is feeling well and playing well, like many times we've seen him before, I think EDG could take first. So.
I
Yeah,
give
probably.
EDG a stylistic matchup favoring them just because they also have the one player who's consistently stopped Faker. with Pawn.
Yeah.
Not to say that Pawn's
That's
better
true.
than Faker.
I think that's the
but
most
Pawn is
important
always
aspect.
contained. Yeah, that is like that's huge. E to G has such a that is a huge advantage for E to G to
But-
have that no other team does.
You know what sucks? We don't have a blind pick game where we can see Faker Z against Rio Z.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, and we
No,
don't
no.
have
Faker-
a best of
Faker
5
walks-
format.
Faker hovers Zed, and Ryu just tilts 90 degrees.
Oh.
Dude, no, fuck Harvick. Okay, if you're up against Ryu and he's on like a European squad and you know that he's not like in the form that he was before, I just fucking lock in Zed and just be like, let's do this, motherfucker.
Tilt him, just tilt
Yeah.
him.
I wouldn't even put on Shockblade Zed just because that's the skin that Ryu wore. I would just be like, let's do this, motherfucker. I would go for open
No, they
swag.
should probably do what they did against Fnatic when they all selected their skins from the Season 4 championship. You know, the champions and the skins, obviously. You know, something like that.
I mean, season 2 or
You mean season 3, right?
I
If
don't
you're
I
talking
don't
about
remember
Fnatic,
exactly when they
season 2.
played
season
against
3.
Fnatic. No, okay, so they won Season 3, and in Season 4 they had a tournament where
Ah, yeah, you mean
both SK
All-Stars.
Telecom and Fnatic showed up at that tournament, and when they played against Fnatic, SKT just picked all their
All those
Champions.
Yeah, that's true.
and the skins, yeah. So it was more of a show of, look how strong we are. We can beat you with this exact champs, with our
These
exact
exact
skins.
champ. Zyra isn't even meta anymore.
We have
Oh,
the
dude,
comeback.
didn't they buffer? It's like, yeah.
I
They-
actually
they-
played
they- yeah,
against
no.
one
In the context
today.
of that tournament, she wasn't. They buffed her.
I played against one today, and Colin, I think we could be on something, onto something. Like,
Oh,
I
Zyra,
want to
I
test.
see Zyra being really strong as a support, and let's not forget that Ashe is a viable
Yeah.
pick, and we may
Yeah.
have Season 3 again with Ashe Zyra. So
Except
the
for
thing,
that,
the thing with Zyra is that being able to kind of
target her ass.
target your harass with the plants, that's a really big thing,
That's huge.
and
That
that's
is
why
such a
I
I-
think she will be.
I really like Ashe on this patch just because the Juggernauts are fucking god-awful annoying, but Ashe is really good at kiting them with a proper team.
Yeah.
So,
And
all her
we're good
slugs
against
helps.
Jaramos.
yeah, so that's true. So, I don't know how proficient Juggermauls are going to be at this.
Very
At
high
this,
probability.
I don't really. I think the best team. Let's see. With my knowledge, KT Rolster might be the best Juggernaut team. I'm speaking without any knowledge of how much China's used a Juggernaut, so keep
A
that.
lot
Just,
I mean,
more
just
than
to clarify,
Korea.
Juggermaul
You
and
have-
not protect Juggermaul and not protect the Cogmaul.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So,
Okay.
there is a difference.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
there
a
is.
difference.
And then there's also the comps that will probably be like a bunch of bruisers that are just super tanks that are gonna have a Cogmaul in the back line. So
And I mean, like,
I suspect some of those.
like in China,
Okay.
Kog'Maw was like first pick material. Like everybody was fighting over that little thing called Kog'Maw. So I will doubt to not see him being prioritized by almost everyone until today.
I think we're gonna see a lot of. I think Corki will be played just because Corki's always played at Worlds. I think we'll see a lot of Ashe.
Ash.
I
Dogma.
still believe in the Ezreal.
Yeah.
Well, it's Korean teams,
Could
dude.
be.
Korean teams. Arrow's gonna pick Ezreal. He always picks Ezreal.
True. I think like against certain kind of comps, and when we think about it, actually Bluebeard Ezreal is really good at kiting Jargamos. If you survive until you have the 2 or
Or-
3 items, of course. But I could see this work actually, even with the training build of Trinity and Essence Reaver.
Twitch as well. CB springs
Yeah, yeah.
up Twitch.
Yeah.
He just got buffed twice, so.
Cbus, I tested it and it worked. Don't worry, Ezreal's coming, baby.
We have to remember at every Worlds we kind of see the same champions being brought out. In a
Corki
way.
and Twitch, dude.
Yeah.
Corki
And
is
let's not
basically a
forget
counter for
Rumble.
Twitch and
Don't
Link.
forget the
We're
Trinity
gonna see a
Force,
lot of
guys.
Rumble. And we're
Assassin.
probably gonna see a lot of Ari. And
Yep.
probably even Zed. May
Yep.
may make a comeback. Who knows? But I do think we're gonna see a lot of Juggernaut.
Ah, definitely.
A lot of Juggernauts. Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh,
No.
I agree.
Skarner,
They're
I
gonna
think
be really
Skarner
strong.
is going to be one of the
Yeah.
priority jungle
Yeah.
picks.
Garner, yep. Skarner,
Darius should be up there. I think Olaf is going to be pick or ban worthy, just because he
I
plays
think
so well
even
against the Ashe.
Darius can work really well against some teams.
that.
He could be viable. Mordekaiser,
Fiora-
obviously.
Guys,
I think
we still have
Fiora
to
is
talk
gonna be
about Group
picked.
D.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're
I
gonna
think-
do a meta talk right now.
I think Fiora is going to be picked ban-worthy for a lot of the teams that have good carry top laners.
Yeah.
So I could see Soaz playing a lot of Fiora because he likes playing carries. So, like, I think he's a person.
I can
less than
see-
he's Smeb.
I guess he saw us playing Yorick. Yeah.
Random
Just
Yorick
because
coming
it's just things
Amazing.
that Soas
up.
does.
So as does.
Amazing J will probably play stuff like Fiora if he has the opportunity to.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I
she
know-
was nerfed
I know
a bit, but
Flame
she's
is
still
gonna Flame's gonna finally get some playtime. I may or may not have an interview coming up with some LGG fellows.
I don't want to hype
really
anything
excited.
here.
But yeah, so Group D, speaking of LGD, so LGD, KT Rolster, Team Solo Mid, and Orihen. Is there much to talk about here? I actually think there is.
Origin.
I personally think KT Rolster will fuck something up and shit the bed. I have a gut feeling down in my gut.
My thoughts. Exactly my
I think
thoughts.
KT does something wrong and they get fucking
You
shit.
know-
KT doesn't do something wrong. Monte Cristo is just like, all right, KT's gonna get out of this group. It's fairly easy. It's gonna be a simple
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
and then
they
shit the
will-
bed
they will shit the
because he
bed.
curses them.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
the same.
It's gonna be Monty's goddamn fault. It's gonna be Monty's fault.
Monty started hyping them up. Forget him. Happened last
Right,
year.
you know.
Happened in season 3 against SKT. He was hyping it up.
Happened in season 3, dude. It happened in
Oh.
the freaking finals. It happened in the finals. He's like, I think KT's gonna take it, and then Thorne's like, yeah. So what happened in that final? You know, Monty, tell me how that went.
So,
Guys, since
Come
when do
on,
we have-
Monty. What happened to you, precious KT?
Guys, since when do we have Torin on this show?
Oh, isn't this summoning inside?
The X Factor show is gonna be really
Guys,
great. York's the better.
damn it! I showed up. To the
I'm
wrong
actually
show.
trying to do my
Yeah, me
own
too.
show, okay?
I pull back the
I
mask.
mean,
The beard unfurls out.
confused.
The jacket comes on.
So I think if KT Rolster shits the bed, I think Origin will be the second team to get out of the group.
I agree. With
I think
that.
there's no questions asked that LGD is the
LGD.
first place team.
Yes.
So-
Oh yeah, definitely.
If they get lower than that, they failed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think TSM is going to get absolutely pooped on. I could see
Yeah,
TSM. not
TSM
winning
is
a
practically
game.
in the same position as Cloud9
And
Yeah.
they just screwed. It is.
because they
Yeah.
they have somebody in their team that's not performing. Not saying
Yeah.
I don't want to anger people because TSM.
I'll just say
But-
I did
I
an
don't see
interview
them.
with the I did an interview with a European AD carry that said he'd like to go to America.
Report live now on the Daily Dot.
Hey, Luis.
And the doodle and then Richard Laura.
So what are our predictions here for the group? Let's go right to left again. So Daniel first.
TSM.
I
TSM.
say LGD. I believe in Origin, so I'm gonna make a fate call right here, and I would say Origin second, KT third, and TSM last.
Alex.
TSM to fourth. I go with LGD Origin because I still believe in the Pecky, and he normally shows and steps up every time for Worlds, so I want to see him playing something else than Azir.
Okay, so yeah, if he doesn't play
And-
Azir, it's a huge step
And
up for
I
them.
can't trust on the KT roster hype train. Never again.
Yeah.
Never.
Colin.
Okay, so LGD first. I think it's likely that Origin could possibly get out of this group. But I do think that KT is more likely to do it. It really depends on a couple of factors, but because everyone else here is voting for the opposite of the NAE rivalry this year as opposed to last year, two European teams getting out as opposed to two NA teams, I'm just gonna go ahead and just affirm my Korean overlords and just throw KT in second place, just to play the other perspective.
And then Origin third, TSM fourth.
Origin third, TSM fourth.
Obviously.
I think I agree with Daniel and Alex that I think Origin will get second, but I think that what has to happen is that KT has to get upset, and I think TSM could win a game, and I think that would be the game that would really turn the group on its head if TSM somehow managed to upset KT. If they come unprepared.
Unless the only game they win is against LGD, they could upset.
Okay, then it's really turned upside down.
No, but I just said I'm making a faith call with Origin. I actually think that if KT roster just play the way they played in these playoffs, and at the end of the season, they have the better chance of getting second place. But
yeah, I agree.
I believe in Origin. If they don't play a Azir mid for Peke, if they play something else, they have a good chance of
Lissandra might be back. Just want to.
Oh yes, Syndra will be back. Actually, she has a really nice buff, right?
I mean, even the Lissandra pick in 515 was actually a decent pick. Even a decent counter pick against the Azir if you played it properly. We didn't show up that well, but actually Regis, Lissandra, and Scrims against Azir was nuts. And we played against a good Azir player. I don't want to say a name, but the pick has a lot of potential in this meta. Mostly when it comes to getting picks around protection comps. So flanks with that through walls might be very, very relevant. And split pushing is a thing right now. So you can even run double TP. Origin has
but let's not forget that we're talking about Origin, and Origin has Xpeke and Soaz, and they could actually play the Lissandra both in the mid lane and in the top lane, because they have all the experience necessary to do that, and they're known for playing double AP comps. Okay, so they could actually do it. I mean, I think they have a lot of flexibility in their play and what champions they could play, but at the end of the day, they still have the same drawbacks they had when they were in Fnatic. Like, for example, Soaz is known as being a very emotional guy. Mithy, for example, is a choker in high pressure situations. He didn't show that in the playoffs, right? Or the gauntlet.
He was fine this season.
He was fine. Yeah. I mean, he had a few games where he wasn't that fine, but overall, I think he improved a lot in this aspect. And what can I say? I mean, Origin has a really, really strong roster. I think all the players are, top 2, top 3 in EU, right? And they could make it, but it's all up to them. How good the preparation will be. How good the preparation of the enemy teams will be. If they fuck up or not.
I think the one spot that they have the advantages, is I think Peke plays well under pressure compared to Nagne, who sometimes does not.
Yeah.
And I also think that Niels, and this may be a blow your mind prediction, I think Niels also plays well under pressure, and I think at his peak he's better than Arrow. Zero's not highly consistent either.
I don't know about that. I think it very much the bot lane of Origin depends very much on Mithy and how well he performs.
Also,
and that's why I talk mostly about Mithy. And
right, I agree.
Niels is a good AD carry. He's not something exceptional. Okay, he's not like a god tier AD carry.
He's consistent at a high peak.
As long as Mithy is consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, like if Mithy
doesn't show up, Niels will never just take the reins and just carry without Mithy.
I mean, what happens in the bot lane of Origin is like, well, I'm Mithy, I have the bows, I have the horns, and I'm just gonna jump in and carry the game. He was like so hungry to win the finals, so hungry that he carried almost everyone, in my opinion. But again, yeah, you might be right, but if they give him his Vayne, he would be also simply the farm up style, and could carry that way the game in the late game by team fighting, good positioning, and solid Vayne performance that he already showed that he can do it. And I don't think Miffy needs to be the carry player that he was playing in the finals or most of the times the current season to actually make it work, because Peke could still like go back on carry mode. He was playing passive the whole time, but he could go back to the carry mode even now when Assassins might come back because they got buffed. There's still a chance for that. Lissandra might be back, so we can see him doing a lot of plays and doing a lot of great things for Origin. So Miffy could step back and play just a support role. So
well, he's a support, right?
Come on, this is so next level, dude. You didn't get my pun. My pun is too high for you, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's the next level.
Yeah,
I think there's one elephant in the room here too. I think Peekaboo is just a fucking god. I think he'll put every support in this group to shame. So.
Yeah, that's probably why Alex was.
It's LGD's group, right?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? PYL is the god.
POL is good,
Oh,
but
man.
Peekaboo is probably the best support in the world.
No, I can't sign on this because PYL is nuts. I never seen a guy play so good before. In terms of mechanical, and I'm here for you. I will stand behind me as a Braum. Like, he was jumping around players and just doing great things for them and carrying them. Like, I think this guy will show up at Worlds and make some wonders. And people say, yeah, but he's not good as Mata. Wait, he is a good support player. He has a different style than Mata, so he could be the best of the season, in my opinion. But again,
yeah, sure. I think I agree with this. PYL could have the MVP award for the best support.
Yeah.
No.
I
can totally agree.
He's nuts. Sorry, but
I think he's the contestant, but I just think Peekaboo's better. My personal opinion, I think Peekaboo's better.
I can agree with that. I can live with that, but you can't come on the level of POIL right now. It's sad that Mata didn't have the hunger to go for more, because I think I would like to have seen that matchup, because Mata had like this control style. I'm gonna lead this team to win by vision control and calls, while POIL is just there. Yo, guys, follow me. I got this. I'm gonna do the play for you. And if you are in any problems, just call me. I'll be there and just carrying you. Like I remember that LGD EDG game where LGD brought out the Fiora, and I was, hey, nice Fiora, something new, something refreshing. Maybe it's OP. I don't know. Let's see. First game I've seen on competitive. I'm really excited. And like Acorn was doing well on the Fiora, but POL was stealing his show. And I just thought, well, I think this guy is good. Yeah.
He's probably good. Yeah.
Probably good. Daniel.
So one trend that's been going around Reddit, and I did it on a different show, is called 90-50-10. And it's, you do a 90%, something I did on a podcast with Redshirt King and Sadie's, so thank you guys. 90% chance of happening, 50% chance of happening, 10% chance of happening.
Okay.
So let's go right to left again. Daniel, 90% chance of happening at Worlds.
I mean, who's going to win?
No, it can be anything. Just 90% chance that it will happen.
We will not have double lift on the analyst desk. That's 90% chance of happening.
Wait. He can still join for the finals, right?
Yeah, he can still have him in playoffs. So
Yeah, right. I mean, we might have in the end. You see, that's why it's 90%. Okay? 90%. 90% chance of happening, 90% chance. We might see another Western team get into the semifinal.
Okay.
I'm saying it's 90%. 50%, we might see the first non-major region team making it out of the groups. And I know, no. Does
that include
50% chance that we'll see a wild card. Sorry, a wild card.
He's
team
praying for the Bangkok Titans.
making it out of the groups. Yeah, and it's not the
Saying
Bangkok
his little
Titans,
prayer
obviously.
for BKT.
He doesn't have written go paint on his
requiem.
chest, no, or his face like.
Scout.
And
And
10% chance Cloud9 will win a game.
Ooh, okay.
No, TSM. Sorry,
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, ah!
TSM.
Why,
because
why,
Cloud9
why don't you
is zero.
simply say like a 10%
Yeah.
chance of American Pie actually winning a game this Worlds?
Yeah, so that's 90, 50, 10.
Sorry, but CIG is still golden age, so American Pie is CSM C9. Okay.
No, they're not in the golden age. They're the faith age right now.
Oh, the
So
fake.
it's all about the faith, not
Okay.
the gold.
Okay.
They had Fool's Gold. before.
Okay, a 90%
Yeah.
of chance that LGD will win this Worlds.
Yep.
50% chance that Cool Tigers will not show up and Pay will get through groups. And 10% chance that Bangkok Titans will win a game.
Okay, I agree. Colin?
Well, I had that to 0. What the hell?
No, you had Cloud9! You had Cloud9 to 0!
They could be the HTK, you never know, man. Don't count them out yet.
Oh, we
Yeah.
still have Lulex. Don't worry, boys.
Yeah, that's the big unknown.
Long jock, please, man. Alright, Colin.
90% chance that the most competitive match at this World is going to take place in the semifinals,
Ooh.
just based on the group draws. I think quarters should be fairly reasonable, and then semis. 50% chance that 50% chance that where I think no, it's going to be a little less than that maybe. No, fuck it. It's the only thing I really think of. 50% chance that SKT1 goes on to win the whole thing. Depends on how they match up against LGG and EDG. And then 10% chance that Pain 2-0's Coup Tigers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
10.
That's a
The,
good
the
prediction.
other 90, by the way, in that matchup, Coup Tigers just fucking internally rapes them in the mid-game.
You mean like 90% of a chance that Cool Tigers can actually adapt a patch in time?
Yeah. No,
I think-
90% chance that Pain just isn't going to play at the same level as Coup Tigers, even if they adapt to a meta better.
Alright. I'm gonna make my strong predictions. 90% chance that a Chinese team wins Worlds for the first time.
That's
You mean a
Although
Chai
they- although they-
Korean? A
A
Korean.
Korean Chinese
Chai
team.
Korean team. Yo, so you know, CS:GO is
It's
having
called
drugs.
Chairean.
When
Chairean.
is League of Legends gonna
Chairean
have
team.
like the whole ban on using Korean players? You know, just like, oh, they're boost with Korean players. It's the new drug. You know?
It's
Yeah, yeah.
like in Dota where Korean actually import American players.
There you go. Anyways, okay, so 90% that a Chinese team is taken.
Chinese team wins.
That's
50% chance that KT roster shits the bed, and another team that isn't LGD gets through, probably Origin.
fair.
And 10% chance that Cloud9 pulls some kind of Cinderella run over HQ.
The reverse sweeps, boys! The reverse sweeps! You know, it will happen like this. First day they will get trashed on, but then second day they will just do the reverse sweep all over again.
No, I tell you what will happen. So in the first day, they lose everything they play.
And then
And
the second day they also
they
lose
replace
everything.
Pulse with a substitute, and then they win the World Championship.
Okay.
Idiots comes back to
Okay,
the top.
first of all, do they have a sub?
I don't think they do, and if it is, let's
Yeah,
I don't
well, Babadub.
see. They don't. They don't have a
Babadub,
sub.
yeah, you see,
Babadub is
you
a
see.
coach, but he
Yeah,
he can sub
there's
in.
an option. Yeah.
I mean, we
Babadub
can have we can have Lulu on the top lane, so Babadub will be in his comfort zone. and playing with, you know, I followed this guy when he was a streamer, and he had this Lulu hat always on when
Yes,
streaming.
I remember that.
And,
Yes.
and he
No,
was
but
like
you forgot the
playing,
best-
and then his
best
wife
thing
comes,
about him.
hey honey, don't you want to go to sleep? Sorry, girl, I am still playing, but then I'm gonna go to sleep. And then he was playing. It was 4 a.m. here. Still
No,
playing.
but he has
still
a
playing.
mustache. That's where his strength resides.
My
in the
shirt,
mustache.
as I said that C9 can pull a Cinderella run at all. My shirt is just burning on fire. Like
My bad, I only have my legacy hoodie here.
I have a chest.
you have a chest, and
You
I
have also your
I have
Cloud9
some-
shirt.
I don't
have
even
some
have a
Eric-
chest.
I have
What
American
the
Wow,
fuck?
I think Daniel, I think you need to go to a doctor or something. You might be missing.
Yeah.
That is, you don't have a chest. Is that why you don't have a heart? Come on, man. So show some NA love.
Oh.
There's some NA love.
Oh, the banter begin.
24/7. Next level.
Oh yeah, next level. You know, there's a term that's Daniel and I got along, because I mean we needed the next level memes, right? And we couldn't find a next level meme because it was too next level for us. So we now
Actually,
have
it's
the
the
next
next
level
level
banter.
became
Yeah,
the
we
meme.
just have the
Next
next level now, and
It's literally the next level.
yeah, it's just the next level, and
Yeah. I think we're
Okay,
boring
so
everybody else.
yeah,
I think this is
it's
the,
the next level.
I think this is the end of the show, so we'll do shout outs, go right to left again. So Daniel, shout outs to anyone.
Okay, shout out to my team. Hello, they're probably watching. And I encourage everybody to vote for us for the Logitech challenge so we can have a chance to play
actually did.
KLG again. And yeah, what can I say? I hope we get a nice world championship. I'm looking forward to that. And shout outs to you guys for inviting me to the Summoning Inside.
You
Look,
mean the
mate,
next
I know,
level
I
show?
know my impression is just that good. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't help it, really.
I think it's better actually.
I'm better than. Oh God.
What have you done?
You spread
Um,
the egos of Reddit forever.
So Alex,
Famous-
shout outs.
So shout outs to MSI, Ozone, Magins, and G2A, and of course to my boys and manager and guys from KLG. Also shout outs to you guys. Thanks for hosting, taking over my job today, Jacob, because you are so awesome. And also thanks to Danny Hume for taking the time off to hang around with us and doing this summoning, I mean the next level HTLP podcast show. And also to Colin for being like this, this guy.
Thanks, Greenberg.
Yeah,
Thanks
they
for
got me.
being.
God damn. Thanks for.
God
Thanks
damn
for-
it.
That's the only thing.
Goddamn
That's the, only,
Neimer, thanks for being here.
it's the only thing you have.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Dan Kissing
So-
you've ever seen.
Also thanks to everyone watching.
Yes.
Obrigado,
Oh
gente.
yeah, right.
So, this sponsorship goes out to Alpha Draft for the loads of money that we get on something Insight. Thanks to
Not
my
yet.
co-host Monte Cristo, who with his shitty little KT hype train.
Oh god.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you, buddy? Yeah. I'll see you in the finals, mate. Okay. Joking aside, shout out to Thorin for giving me apparently some kind of just outlet for the inner rage in me as I slowly become him, with Smed being my flame. So he is. Smed, no, you don't understand. You don't understand me and Smed. You don't understand. Moving on. God damn it. Shout outs to KLG for working with me and the opportunity that I had with it, and Alex gave me that chance, but thanks to them for using a lot of my input that came on up. Thanks to well, here, let's do a little sponsorship right here. Thanks to Blue Yeti microphones for making the crystal clear sound of Thorin's Reddit impersonation coming through in like pristine HD quality here. So rest in peace, bank account. Good to know you while I can.
That's how I
Shout outs
feel.
to Wendy's for a great working time. Love ya. Not gonna hang out with you so much. I got a new girl. She's into video game playing that I'm gonna be seeing a lot more often than you. So sorry, Wendy. You still got really good food, but I feel like I have a future with this one. So shout outs.
It's a long term and
No, you
serious.
should have said, Wendy,
So
it's
long
not
term.
you, it's me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's not you.
That's the way
Wendy,
Americans do
it's
it.
not you. Yeah, exactly. It's not you. it's the little things in life for me. You know, some shit like that.
Like money? No. Actually, not having to worry for next
Shout out!
day.
Oh, I should. Oh man! Shoutouts to everyone who's ever supported me in taking on this endeavor. I'm really excited to be working in
Who is
full
this
time.
guy?
And in the back right here, actually, there's a huge map of Summoner's Rift on it. That was a birthday gift that my friend received. I went visited him in Utah this last weekend, and he gave it to me. He
Now
said,
you need
"Here,
to show, you
have it."
know.
Right? Yeah.
I
now
actually
need to-
thought that was a yoga mat, and you actually began.
No, here's the
lifestyle.
yoga mat. Here's the yoga mat. There's the.
I can't see that.
And we can see it in the stream, by the way, because of the overlay. But and that's a beautiful yoga mat.
Yeah.
Look at it!
Summoner's Rift yoga.
Throw it on the ground.
We just need to put him down. I think I'm just gone. You know, lock me up in the insane asylum. Let's just I'm.
Well,
signing
I
this out.
played I played Outlast lately. I think I can get you there. Don't worry.
So I guess I'm last. So yes, shout outs to the Daily Dot for making every day brighter and brighter. I've been really appreciative lately with a lot of my coworkers and my publication. They've changed my life completely. You know, last year I was a college student that like hated school and had ADD and couldn't pay attention, and I wanted to get into this thing called esports, and they make that possible every day to wake up and have a good day. So shout outs to them. Shout outs to my new apartment complex, which I just wasted way too much money on. But I'll be moving to Austin.
The
for
set time show, I guess.
Yeah,
Everybody's confessing where their money went.
I'll be moving to Austin, Texas, to work with all the Daily Dot esports people in person, which is going to be a very beautiful thing. And then I'm trying to think anything else. Shout outs to close friends that have been really supportive recently in my decisions. And if you have not, you should go read my latest feature that came out a couple hours ago on Freeze and his next moves for the LCS. So, believe that is it.
All right,
good
so
show.
yeah, thanks again for everyone for watching. Obrigado para todos os brasileiros também, mesmo não entendendo pouco de inglês. And also to my lovely co-host and my host for the show that took over my job. And I hope that we can do this more often so I can talk a little bit more. And also thanks for Daniel for being there and just smiling at the camera. And so I'm gonna go on a break, but I'll be back in 30 minutes with a stream in português. Então, gente, ficam aí, ficam ligados, tem 30 minutos stream em português. Então, a gente fala aí, bye bye guys, bye bye boys, and bye bye girls, and also bye bye Colin.
He's his own gender.
Yeah.
I have transcended gender.
Yeah.
I was worried there for a moment, Alex. I was just like, somebody call a doctor. He's gone retarded. I can't understand a thing that he's saying. But I realized it was Portuguese.
I have to troll Colin.
The pain fangirlism. He's soaked up in pain. I'm fucking.
My friend, you just have to scream hashtag go pain. It's fine.
Hashtag go pain.
It's so easy.
You hit shift and the number 4. And then you lock in caps lock. Actually, you don't even need to do that. You already have caps lock on all the time. And then you do GOPAIN.
Alpha Drift.
Something like that.
So,
yeah.
guys,
I know
thanks
exactly
for
what I'm doing
watching.
next episode.
See you then before Colin stops